This is the thinnest iPhone ever. It's not an iPhone 17 or a 17 Pro. It's an entirely new iPhone altogether. It's got pro features in a super slim body and all-day battery life. So stop. Before you go out and buy your next iPhone, watch this first. Hi, I'm MICHAELJOSH, your gadget matchmaker, and I've been a Pro Max user for, let's just say, way before they were even called that. But this year, Apple announced the iPhone Air. And I can't quite shake the nagging question, should I? Turns out a lot of you asked the same question also. So I'm here to find the answers. On this channel, I give you special access to the gadgets I review, the places I go, the things that bring me joy, and all the interesting people I get to meet along the way. So if you're shopping for a new iPhone, give this channel a like and subscribe, and I'll help you find the right one to match your needs. This is my iPhone Air review. Apple announcements have been pretty predictable of late, in the sense that every September, 4 iPhones are expected. An iPhone, a larger Plus model, and an iPhone Pro and a larger Pro Max. But this year, Apple is skipping the Plus iPhone and giving us a whole new category instead, the extremely thin and light iPhone Air. It's not a new concept per se. There already exists an iPad Air and a MacBook Air. But for a device that we pick up and use several hundred times a day, this iPhone has the potential to be a game changer. The problem is, especially for a creator like me, it's really hard to show and tell. It's something that you really need to experience in person. As per usual, I've had all new iPhones also at my disposal this past week, but it was the iPhone Air that I wanted to pick up, say, 7 out of 10 times. It's been such a pleasure to carry around, pull out of a pocket, and just use. Be it catching up on social media with my coffee in the morning, reading while on the subway, or a late night game session before bed. The phone is 5.64 millimeters thin, is thinner even than Samsung's Galaxy Edge. And thanks to its soft rounded edges, it feels thinner too. Many have asked, surely a phone this thin could easily be bent out of shape. Well, it's actually much tougher than you think. This machine you're looking at is pressing down with more than 130 pounds of force. It's designed to test whether the phone will bend out of shape or even snap in half. I saw this exact demo at Apple Park, and here's the wild part. The iPhone Air actually survived. Even if you can see it flexing under the weight, the moment that the pressure was released, it snapped right back into place, no bend, no deformation. Some of that has to do with Apple's use of titanium. While Apple switched back to aluminum on its premium iPhone Pro line, the iPhone Air has a titanium frame, which keeps it lightweight yet durable, and titanium also has qualities that make it less resistant to bending and deformation. This year on the iPhone 17 Pro series, Apple is debuting Ceramic Shield 2, which is glass with nanoceramics baked in at a molecular level. Apple says is 3 times more scratch resistant than the original ceramic shield, and it's used not only on the screen of the iPhone Air, but also its back. While there are already many cases for the iPhone Air on offer, I'm glad that this phone is built tough, because a phone like this deserves to be used without a case. Building a phone like this is an engineering marvel. The phone only has one camera, but a camera bump that stretches the entire width of the phone. Apple calls it the plateau, and believe it or not, this entire bump houses most of the phone's components. Not just the camera, but the logic board, the A19 Pro system on a chip, even some components for the speakers are tucked away up here. This leaves most of the space for the phone's battery, which Apple claims lasts about 27 hours of video playback, or like 22 hours of video streaming. In my personal experience, it lasts me as much as the 16 Pro did during my review last year. That said, with improved battery performance across the board on the iPhone 17 series, it still has the smallest battery life estimates compared to the rest of the family. Of course, with a phone this slim, you'll have plenty of space left in your bag or your pocket for an accessory from this video's sponsor, Cuktech. Meet the Cuktech CP12 Magnetic Power Bank, a compact 10,000 milliamp hour charger that keeps your iPhone topped up wherever the day takes you. If you're unfamiliar with the brand, Cuktech is actually a Xiaomi subsidiary with over 10 years under its belt. When you snap it onto the back of your iPhone, you get 7.5 watt magnetic wireless charging, and if you need to refuel even faster, it has a built-in braided USB-C cable ready to deliver 20 watt supercharged speeds. So even when you stick it to the back magnetically, it automatically prioritizes wired charging for maximum efficiency. Even better, you can charge up to 3 devices at the same time. The cable has been tested to last as long as the power bank itself. And the magnets, they can hold up to 1,000 grams of holding force, so your phone stays securely attached. When the CP12 runs low, topping it up is quick too, thanks to its 20 watt input. If you're looking for a fuss-free compact power bank, the Cuktech CP12 is available now for $49.99. But if you use our link, you'll get over 50% off your order. Even if you're not good at math, you'll know that's an unbeatable value for a 10,000 milliamp hour power bank, so make sure to check our links in the description box below. Which brings me to my next question. What do all these numbers mean in the real world? Well, I recently took the iPhone Air out with me on a day running errands, attending a meeting. I met up with my friend Enabong and took some photos. I did some 5G testing and a quick visit to Hermes. Over the course of the last week that I've been using the phone, I've been spending a lot of time at home, so I really haven't had a good picture of what battery life has been. But after a week of letting the phone settle in, install all the apps in the background, do some syncing, this is my second day out and about, and I figured today is the best time to do a battery test. I took the phone off its charger at 8 a.m. at 100%. It's now 1:20 in the afternoon, and we are at 22%, about 5 hours. I've been using it a lot. 32 minutes on Instagram, 17 minutes texting, 14 minutes taking photos. And then I was also on Peacock watching some sports for more than 10 minutes. That's about 3 hours of screen on time and about 5 hours of idle time today. It's 30 minutes later and I've been busy setting up my Apple Watch Ultra 3, and maybe because of that connectivity between the phone and the watch, my battery has taken a hit. I'm down to 8%, but don't worry, that's what this MagSafe battery pack for the iPhone Air is for. All you have to do is pop it on like so, and there you go, charging. Unlike the MagSafe power bank Apple retired a few years back, this one is meant specifically for the iPhone Air, and it won't work with the rest of the iPhone 17s. For an additional $100, it's designed to be a companion to the iPhone Air. Apple says together it should extend battery life from 27 hours of streaming to 40 hours. In the days I spent out and about switching between 5G and Wi-Fi, my phone lasted me about 6 to 7 hours of heavy use. Today, when I used my MagSafe power bank while taking photos and videos at the Highline, it lasted me till almost 8 p.m. with 5 hours of screen on time. The biggest contributors to battery drain were 40 minutes on Instagram, accounting for about 20% of my battery, 44 minutes of camera use, 10 minutes of iMessage, 10 minutes of streaming on Peacock, 10 minutes of streaming on YouTube, and the 13 minutes that I spent setting up my Apple Watch Ultra 3. As a content creator who is always online, always filming, I have to say the battery on the iPhone Air isn't going to cut it on a busy day, but on an average day, whether I'm spending time at home or a weekend maybe, I'm 100% sure I'll get by. Apple promises that wired charging on the iPhone Air is 50% in 30 minutes. In our GadgetMatch charge test, I got even faster speeds, between 52 to 56% in 30 minutes and an 80% charge in 50. The phone also supports 20 watt MagSafe and Qi 2 charging. In my tests, I got between 30 to 35% in 30 minutes and an 80% charge in 70. One thing I love about the iPhone Air is that it has a pretty large display. Diagonally, it measures 6.5 inches, so its screen is larger than the iPhone 17 or 17 Pro, but smaller than the 17 Pro Max. It's big enough to require two-handed typing most of the time, and is the perfect screen size for consuming content. This week, I watched a lot of World Track and Field coverage on Peacock. Despite the differences in size, it shares the same Super Retina XDR display tech with a buttery smooth 120Hz ProMotion panel, the same support for always-on display and live activities, peak outdoor brightness of 3000 nits, and the same improved anti-reflection and better contrast. Another important thing worth mentioning is that the iPhone Air is also powered by the A19 Pro chip, a chip usually reserved for Apple's Pro models. The base iPhone has an A19 chip instead. Granted, it has one less GPU core and lacks the Pro's new thermal management system. Still, the iPhone Air has enough power to tackle AAA gaming titles that take advantage of hardware-accelerated ray tracing, like Assassin's Creed Mirage. Enough even to handle this new crop of generative AI applications. All of this sounds really great so far, but the question remains, can I really switch from a Pro model? We've already established that it has the same display tech, it's got the same action and camera control buttons, the same iOS 26 goodness. Now let's take a look at what you give up. First, our stereo speakers. While the iPhone Air has what looks like speaker grills on its bottom, its only speakers are up top through its earpiece. Here is what that sounds like. Clearly, the sound from the iPhone 17 Pro Max is richer and fuller. Interestingly enough, in the week that I just walked around the house watching YouTube videos or Instagram Reels, I really didn't notice. And I'd argue that if I wanted to listen to music or watch a movie, I'd use AirPods, so no issue for me there either. And then there's that 5G matter, but it's only applicable to users in the US, which is the only country in the world where it's a thing, and you also have to be a Verizon subscriber like me, which uses millimeter wave on top of sub-6. Sub-6, by the way, is the standard across the globe. The iPhone Air only supports sub-6, and as you can see from these tests, at a prime spot in Manhattan, I was getting 282 to 357 megabits per second on the iPhone Air, and 1.9 to 2.1 gigabits per second on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, which is around what Verizon promises for millimeter wave 5G. Is that a deal breaker? Not necessarily. I mean, the faster the internet connectivity, the better, but 300 Mbps down is good enough for downloading large files or streaming movies, and you don't always get those speeds. In fact, at home in Brooklyn, where Verizon is still a full 5 bars, the results were much closer. About 160 to 180 Mbps on the iPhone Air, and 270 to 300 Mbps on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Other more minor bits that maybe pros will care about: Pro models have 20 times faster USB-C transfers, a 2 terabyte storage option, and a LiDAR scanner. They also have slightly faster MagSafe and Qi 2 charging. Now, the one area where I think I'll miss the pros is in terms of all of its amazing cameras. Not the selfie camera, at least, which has the same new square 18 megapixel center stage camera that lets you shoot both vertical and horizontal photos and videos without having to rotate your phone. You also get the new dual capture mode that lets you film with both the front and back cameras at the same time. One of my favorite parts in the city is a place called the High Line. This is it right here. And it's like an elevated park that starts at Chelsea and goes all the way to the High Line, but it's full of this natural flora and fauna. And sometimes it even cuts through the middle of buildings like so. It offers beautiful, breathtaking views of the Chelsea area. That's the meatpacking district down there. And if you look to the other side, you can see the water. A perfect place to actually come and view the sunset, and it changes throughout the season, so fall is another great time to come. The iPhone Air basically has a 1x camera, and using that same Fusion camera system, you also get 2x optical. Some folks will miss that ultra wide, like during my photo walk at the High Line where I wanted to capture the entire building. 1x just wasn't wide enough. Because it doesn't have that ultra wide camera, that also means you don't have macro photography. Based on the kind of shooter that I am, I'll definitely miss the flexibility of these zoom lenses on the Pro models. That said, I took a lot of photos with the iPhone Air, and they still all turned out great. Be it food photos, or plants, landscape and cityscape, on sunny days and cloudy days, and at night. And finally, portraits, indoors, and out. As one can expect from an iPhone, photos are top-notch. Maybe on holidays, I'd love 3 cameras, but if I were to be honest, for day-to-day use, that one camera, I've learned, does the job. Finally, there's video. Pro models now offer so much like ProRes RAW and studio quality 4 mic arrays. But as a content creator, the feature I will miss the most is being able to film at 4K 120. That said, I've shot this little montage using the iPhone Air, and I'll let it speak for itself. So, is the iPhone Air your gadget match? And what do I think about it? Well, I actually do love the iPhone Air very much and plan on using it for the rest of the year. With a caveat, I will still be using an iPhone 17 Pro Max as a second phone to use more as a professional tool. Its long battery life and range of cameras are going to be exactly what I need when I'm at my next tech event. And it still remains the best iPhone money can buy. That said, I think I'm going to be very happy as an iPhone Air user, and I think you will too. I used the iPhone mini for most of 2021, and back then I thought it was a pocket-sized phone that I wanted. Perhaps what I really needed was to be unencumbered by phones that just seemed to be getting bigger and heavier. The iPhone Air is a phone I didn't think I needed until I first picked it up. We give it the GadgetMatch seal of approval. The phone goes on sale this Friday, September 19th, and retails for $999 for the 256GB model. It's available in 4 colors. My favorites include the one I'm rocking, Sky Blue, which is a very faint blue, and Light Gold, which is a faint cream with a gold trim. It's also available in Cloud White, which is your standard silver and white phone, and Space Black. And that was our iPhone Air review. What do you think? Is this phone your gadget match, or are you still holding out for one of the Pro models, which I will be reviewing next? If you have any questions, by the way, the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max are right here, and I am here to answer your questions. So leave them down below. Make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel and hit that bell icon so that you get notified as soon as we post those videos. Follow me on social media for all the behind-the-scenes fun, travel, and fashion. And for news and updates, make GadgetMatch.com your daily habit. Until the next video, I'm MICHAELJOSH. Thanks for dropping by.